Hey people, Anthony Prado Forby from Forby 4 Diesel. A fresh video for you and especially for Mr. John Clay from Oz Prado Crew. So there was a post from back in 2020. It was to do with what weight people are lugging around and temperatures and transmissions and this sort of thing. So what I'll do, I'll quickly read it to you for those of you that aren't in Oz Prado Crew. That's one of our Facebook pages, and then we'll just go through a couple of the comments and then I'll explain to you what gears you should be driving in to make it really clear for the people that haven't got time to watch the automatic transmission playlist. So we'll try and keep this one short and sweet, straight to the point. So give me about 10 minutes please. Okay, so the post goes, it says, what weight are people lugging around with their Prados, and what gear selection and speed are you on the highway? I am regularly towing a 2-ton pop-top expander at 90 to 95 kilometers an hour. The first photo shows the S4, it shows the automatic transmission pan temp while towing in S4, which I'd like to say at that point is, that is by the workshop manual, by the book, by the owner's manual. That's what it says to do when you're towing. Fourth, okay, that's your one-to-one gearing, and it varies from vehicle to vehicle and different engines. So we'll run through a few of those, but not yet. Reading the post again, the second post shows the temp only 15 kilometers later, having shifted the transmission to D, which is drive, which is not what you're meant to do. It says the road was flat. I noticed that the trans can get to 118 degrees in D while towing, and therefore select S4 to keep that temp down. 2019 150 Prado 6-speed auto. Okay, very good. So then Anthony Prado makes a comment because he has to put his 2 cents worth in, and this is about 2 years ago. So if you want more information, it is available in the automatic transmission playlist. But this is what he says. He says exactly what I've been going on about. The piddly 2755cc, that's the engine, and auto software is crap. It slips the auto torque converter so easy in 5th and 6th gears. Now, in my opinion, I haven't said what gear to drive in. Someone said what they're doing, and I said exactly what I've been going on about. I didn't say whether I'm towing or not. I didn't even say anything other than the auto software is crap. It slips in the auto torque converter so easy in 5th and 6th gears. So whether you're towing or not, that's what happens. I'm not giving an opinion on towing in what gear at this point whatsoever. So what we'll do, let's address that one at this point, and that is Toyota, just to make it simple, tell you when you're towing to leave it in 4th. So that doesn't matter if it's the S4, doesn't matter if it's the 1GD, the 1KD, the 1GR, whatever, pretty much they're going to say leave it in 4th. Now if you're in a Hilux and it's a 5-speed, it's also going to be leave it in 4th, but if you're in a 4-speed auto Hilux, it's going to be leave it in 3rd, so not in drive, in 3rd. So that's your one-to-one gearing. What that does is gives you a little bit more revs, a little bit more air through the engine. It reduces load on the engine, keeping EGTs and coolant temperature down, and it also, whatever. Of course, it keeps the coolant temperature down. As I've said in many videos, the coolant temperature and the EGTs is directly related. If you see a coolant temperature going up, the EGTs are going up. You see the coolant temperature going down, the EGTs are going down. That's why you don't need an EGT gauge, because you don't need to know what it is. You're better off actually looking at the coolant temperature, because it's much more stable. It's going to change a lot less. You're going to be looking at the EGTs going, oh no, oh look, so all right, let's get a bit further down those comments. Just recently, 4 days ago, somebody had to come along, somebody by the name of John Clay, Anthony Prado Forby, so you are saying with the hand grenade that you tow in 5th and overdrive gear, question mark. Well, obviously I'm not saying that, because I didn't say that, right? But some people, they think they're entitled to an answer every time they ask a question. But anyway, this this time he got lucky, and I said, my reply was, what I say to do is in the automatic transmission playlist, and everybody here on this channel already knows that, okay? So pretty simple. Anyway, he says I'm not into YouTube. I mean, how disadvantaged is he? You guys are disadvantaged, you're not into Facebook, and his disadvantage is not into YouTube. Now, who's got it wrong? Is it the YouTube guy or the Facebook guy, you know? Because you can be not into either, or you can be not into both. You can be into both of them, you can be into one, into the other. I suggest you be into both of them when it comes to my information, because otherwise you are disadvantaged. So he says he's not into YouTube, unfortunately. Well, if it's unfortunate, why don't you make a change to that decision? Anyway, he says, I'm surprised that you mentioned towing in an overdrive gear. Did I mention towing in an overdrive gear? No, I did not. It was not my post. I just said how easy the transmission slips. Anyway, it goes on, right? More to it than just oil heating up, but I guess it's all in your videos. Well, that's right, there is more to it, as we've already discussed. It's the heating of the engine and the load on the engine, and that's why Toyota, they give you that. It's a general rule. Oh yeah, tow in fourth, you know. I'm trying to explain to you the one-to-one gearing, a few more revs. But if you're on flat ground and you're towing a box trailer like I am now, and you want to let it go into drive like I have now, and you're looking at your coolant temperature like I am now, and it's 88 or 89 degrees and the ambient temperature's 15 degrees, well, who cares? Because it's not a problem for the engine temperature, the EGTs, the coolant, or the transmission. So that's where you can flex the rules if you understand how things work and why it matters, and you've got something here to monitor those temperatures, right? So that's where you're going down a hill. Hey, you want to drop it into drive, or you want to go S5 in your 6-speed, go ahead, punk, make my day. Okay, make my day. Notice my throat's a bit, how you going? Yeah, I woke up terrible, obviously picked up some cold or some bit of the C word, and well, probably not that, but you wouldn't know the difference anyway, right? Because it's pathetic. Anyway, whatever, I feel fine, just got a bit of a throat thing going on. So I'm going to continue to read these posts because it actually brings up a lot of questions and discussion. So we would like to thank John Clay at this time. Might not be the John Clay you're thinking of, because there's more than one John Clay, that's why, you know, we just put it out there. This one is a member of Oz Proto Crew, so there you have it. And not sure, blah blah blah, I just basically said, I'm not sure where I said to tow in 5th gear, but with a light trailer and flat ground downhill won't be a problem. It's not heating the oil at all, because you're going downhill, your torque converter's locked, right? Blah blah blah. So if you want to see the answer, you can go and have a look at it for yourself. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Then John Clay says the post is about towing and you mention overdrive. I don't care if the post is about towing. My reply didn't mention towing. Anyway, the post is about towing and you mention overdrive gears, overdrive gears. I know more than the next person. So this, oh, okay. I know no more than the next person. So 1 minute he's talking like he knows more than the next person, but then he's telling us he doesn't know. Well, if you want to know more, read the posts, don't ask questions, watch the videos, don't ask questions, because all the answers are in the videos and the posts. Anyway, and then I said, like I said, you know, sometimes the way you write, you probably know more than me. So, you know, these people, you know, tell us which engines are better than others and whatever, but then, you know, you want information, or you want to give us information. Which one is it? Because if it's give information, then don't bother asking me any questions, because you're the one giving the information. I'll ask the questions. Okay. He says, I asked you a question that you never answered. Don't be critical on those who ask questions. Well, don't be critical on those that don't answer your questions. Whatever. Who said anything being about critical? Let's get critical now. We're talking critically about transmissions and engines. Anyway, and I wrote that, don't be critical on those who haven't got time to answer all the questions, because they've already spent their time making videos, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it goes on, right? It goes on and on, yeah. He goes, not being critical at all. You could have simply answered the question, but, you know, it's not really a question, because if you read the original post and my comment about it, I said nothing about towing. So, you know, so the simple answer would be no. Anyway, bada bing, whatever. What we need to talk about now is, besides it's all in the transmission playlist, I think we've pretty much covered in this video, so we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up in a minute. So it's pretty simple. Do you get it? Right now, I'm on flat ground. I'm in torque converter lock. My coolant temp's on 89. Transmission's on 77. The ambient temp's only about 15 degrees. So it's absolutely beautiful. Now, if I start going up a big hill and the torque converter stays locked, the temperature may rise in the coolant. Okay, I'll let you know when it hits 90. 90 is perfectly common and acceptable. So we're even talking about coolant temps in this video. There's so many. It's just hit 90 right now. I'm not worried about 90, not even worried about 91. But what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to drop it back to third. Right, so it's back to third. Torque converter's locked. We're sitting on 3,000 RPM, and everybody's thinking, oh my gosh, you know, there's so many revs. Coolant's already back to 87, 86. See what I'm talking about, people? And I've explained it already in the automatic transition playlist. So my rules are variable. My rules are not what Toyota said. In some ways I'm better than Toyota, in some ways Toyota of course are better than me, right? They have to write a book that's general in nature, that comes out before the vehicle's been on the road for 10 years or 15 years. I've been working on these cars for that long, owning them, driving them, understanding them, so I can put that mechanical knowledge back to basic terms so you can understand. Now, I've let it go back to drive, and that's another reason why torque converters unlock sometimes. It's releasing the pressure off the engine, which will keep EGTs down. We're already on 89, okay? It's not even a big hill. We're going to start going down the hill in a minute. I'll give you some temps, right? Just for your entertainment, just to wrap this one up with a bit more info. So, if you're towing a 2-ton caravan and you're going down this hill and you want to let it go into S4, by all means, if that makes you feel better, a few less revs. But all it means is when you get to the bottom of this hill, because if you're towing up a hill with a 2-ton caravan, the more load you put on the engine, the more the EGTs, the coolant temp's going to go up. I'm back to 87, right? Still in top gear. See what I mean? Still in fourth converter lock, right? Now watch it. I'm going slightly uphill. It's only slight hills. This is a good video. I'm not so much whinging about John Clay. I'm just telling you, you know, he needs to watch the damn videos, and he will be a much smarter bloke, and he won't have to waste my time asking questions that everybody knows the answer to, because they're already up to 89. See what I'm saying? Now, if you're around still on the next hill, I'm going to go down the hill, along the flat. I'll do the whole lot on third converter lock with 3,000 RPMs. Just thinking of it like a cooling system. There's just heaps of air pumping through that engine. Because you're running a few more RPMs, it's less load on the engine. Diesels make heat because they make torque. It's that low down torque. They're pushing hard, they're making heat, right? That's what the torque's, it's got to come from somewhere. You've got to pay the price somewhere, okay? So, if you're going up a hill and you're towing, whatever your vehicle is, it's a 1-to-1, converter lock or not. If you're slipping it, it's not going to make your EGTs or your coolant go up, but of course if you're working the engine, it could go up a little bit. Once your torque converter is slipping, you are making your transmission temperatures go up. Furthermore, the 2015 to 2020, before the remap 1GD, not only does it unlock really easy in 5th and 6th, it unlocks fairly easy in 4th, so you might find yourself in that situation, so you need to get to watch and learn. Okay, so I'm on 88. I'm just going to go back. I'm just going to go back for this slight hill. And I'll tell you what the temp is at the top. Right, it's already on 87. Right, so they even unlock in 4th. So if you're coming up this hill in 4th with your 2.5-ton caravan, you might need to back your foot off a little bit and get it locked again. Otherwise, your auto temps are going to go up anyway, right? But then again, if it's unlocked, that might be better for your EGTs. It's on 86. Coolant's on 86 going up the hill, people. See what I mean? 3 to 4 degrees difference just by that. So understand it. Don't ask me questions. Watch the videos. Subscribe. subscribe, turn the bell on, understand it. Get yourself trained and understand the vehicle so you can save it. Educate yourself as prevention. Okay. That 117, 118 degrees on the auto temp on those vehicles, the 15 to 21 GDs. I don't know, I personally believe, because the highest I saw was about 117. So if I let it slip all day, it's on 86 people, just letting you know, 1-to-1 gearing, 3000 RPM at about, whatever the speed limit, let's have a look at the speed. Wrong button, hang on. Okay, genuine speed, right, genuine speed. It says 100, yeah, I can't tell you, just a couple of k's over 110, right? Yeah, like, you know, it's that 2 kilometre budget maybe. Anyway, I'm just joking around. Okay, so with those engines, those little gutless pus bucket things with that epoxy software, I'm sorry if you've got one. I can't understand how you can stand it, but I noticed 117. So what I believe is that's the hottest, worst case scenario you wanted to get to. So I reckon those Toyota engineers went, well, we'll let it get to that. Once it gets to that, we're going to lock up the torque converter, because that's what I reckon happened, right? Every time, 20, 30, 40 times I watched it go to once when I was purposely leaving it in drive, not towing necessarily, not towing at all. Car didn't have a tow bar, right? Didn't have a tow bar. I wouldn't dare tow with one of those vehicles. Terrible, right? Gutless. Anyway, so much info in these videos. Just my opinion, of course. Just my opinion. Comparing to many Prados, Hiluxes and whatever, right? What would I know? Anyway, basically, where am I at now? Waffle, ramble. Don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, so, where was I? I'm sure you get my drift, right? 4th can even unlock pretty easy. Try and keep it locked. You'll be cool enough. Right, it'll be working the little 275cc baby, that little 4-cylinder, pushing that Prado brick, especially that big brick caravan behind the brick, first brick, 2 bricks in a row, that little engine will be working. So maybe that's why he's calling it a grenade, or is he picking on 1KDs again? Because 1 in a million cracks a piston. Well, it's probably more than that, but if you take away the ones that have got chips and tunes, the ones that haven't had the right maintenance done, that's injectors at the right time, you know, all the stuff. I'm not going to go through it again. If you take them out of it, probably is 1 in a million, or 1 in 500,000, or 1 in 100. Who cares? Whatever. The rest of the damn thing's awesome. Everything's manageable, maintainable, and it's absolutely awesome. There's no technology problems. The things just go. There's only a few simple problems they have. Yeah, but that 1GD, I'd call that a hand grenade, because early days, we've had pictures of it from people at scrap metal. Get rid of that engine. Anyway, didn't get rid of it fast enough before it went through the whatever the machine is. It grinds it down, scrap metal, alright, yeah, it grinds it down into nothing. Anyway, right, whatever engine you want, all the best to it. That's how transmissions work. That's about EGTs, that's about gear selection. Do you get it? You're going down a hill, you want to put a higher gear, that's up to you, it's your car. Monitor the transmission temps, bang, it locks up at 117, 118 on that one. Then it drops down until you get to the next hill, and then it's on the way back up again. Right, so it still takes into account throttle position. As soon as you load it up, bang, unlocked again. As long as you've got a reasonably low load at 117, that's when I notice it locked up. Low load and peak temperature. Personally, I like the transmission temps under 100. That doesn't mean if it goes over by a couple of degrees or so, once or twice, 102, 105, once or twice every now and then, it doesn't mean that's it, the end of the oil. It's how long has it been that hot for? Yes, the oil oxidizes, but how long has it been there for? How hot has it been, and for how long? It takes a lot, because we took a sample, 60,000 Ks on that 2019 Plus Bucket 1GD we had, and the oil wasn't bad. I did manage it a lot, but I also did let it go to do some testing, what we're discussing here. Right, the oil wasn't bad, so just goes to show you could run it to 100,000, do some oil changes, and it wouldn't be a problem anyway. Okay, but with the 2020, they've remapped it, put the bigger turbo, done what they've done. You can call it a new engine if you want. It's not a new engine; it's a remapped version with a few subtle changes and a different turbo. Okay, it's very laggy on takeoff. It's got really good torque. chalk and cheese, and it holds lock like absolute crazy, to the point people complain that it's holding lock in 4th and 60 k's up a hill, and you get a shudder through the vehicle. There's another update for that. You can get that shudder reduced by getting, but I like mine the way it is. If I don't like it, I'll pop it back to 3rd, or I'll press harder on the accelerator. Something will happen, don't you worry. Okay, so I like it the way it is, then I'm touching it. Yes, the 2020 onwards, or the 2022 January, I like it. It's only done at 35,000 k's. We're putting a whole heap more k's on that soon, and we'll have some more feedback and reviews for you. So subscribe, turn the bell on. But what it does, it just locks. It locks in 3rd. So they've improved that on the earlier one. 3rd didn't lock on the earlier one. It was 4th, 5th and 6th. The remap version locks in 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. You'll be going up a big hill. It stays locked. So be careful of your EGTs, because the transmission stays locked, and if you put it in S5 or S6, you could be creating some heat in that engine. Okay? So be aware of that. It's good what they've done, but be aware of that, because it will create more coolant temp and more EGTs. That little grenade will run hot. So very important info you should have stuck around for. So much information that I could just keep yakking, but I think I better give it a rest and say, I hope that helps you. I hope that helps John Clay. I hope we can get him on YouTube. I'll send him this video and we'll see if he clicks the link and see how curious he is, and see if he goes, mate, this Anthony guy went and made a whole video just for me. Well, no. 1% for you, 99% for the other 99 people that watch this far through the video, if that. Because most people have only got about 3 minutes, so they're robbing themselves of information yet again. In my opinion, you should subscribe. You should turn the bell on so you don't miss a video, and spend that 10 minutes a day, this time a bit longer. You know, I've got time, I'm multitasking, I've got to give you maximum information, try and help you out. Bada bing, thanks for listening. Hit the like button if you got a lot out of it, because I'm sure you did. Hit the like button if you got a little bit out of it. I reckon it was definitely worth it. And John Clay, if you listen to this to the end, thank you very much, my pleasure.